Hi guys and welcome to my not live reaction. Hi guys and welcome to my review of chapter 140 of Boku no Hero Academia. This is another one of those chapters where I got really emotional. I didn't cry in this one though, but I got really emotional. I think if the entire flashback had been like in one instead of like having a little bit of flashback and then action and then flashback, I think I would have cried more if it had been like in one thing, or I would actually have cried because I was like, I felt like the emotion struck me immediately as I began reading because I was like, yes, child Tamaki, this is what I'm here for. And then it was like one page and then we just cut into the action, so the emotion was kind of like left behind a bit and then it came back in full force. So if I had like had one more page of flashback, I would probably have been crying a lot. I might cry talking about it because it was really sweet. I'm gonna ignore all the action. I'm just gonna quickly breeze through that because the flashback for me was much more interesting. Hopefully it was for you too. But I really liked, we have again Tamaki being like, okay, I'm just gonna take care of these three. We have some protests. You have Aizawa just quickly helping him by erasing their quirks. And just again, letting them go through. And Aizawa using, he looked at all three of them and their quirks disappeared for like an extended period of time. Like he didn't look at them, but they were still like, they still can use their quirks. I think this is the first time we've seen Aizawa do this. Which makes sense because it would make sense that he would, when he chose to become a hero, that he would like develop a technique that would allow him to still have people's quirk erased, but not having to look at them, especially because he has dry eye, so he can't have his eyes open all the time. So I thought that was really great shout out to Aizawa because I really love Aizawa, so having him be part of the action even though they left Tamaki with them, like, yeah, that was really great. And I also really liked that we had, when they were running, you also had Kirishima being like, no, we can't leave you behind, and Tamaki was like, yeah, just leave me behind. But you have Fat Gun saying that really Tamaki is the strongest one of the people here because the thing he struggles with is having a weak heart, or anxiety. That's basically what this is. He has anxiety. And I think that's really cool because the big three are so different. Like, we just need more of the girl. Because I want to see what her unique story is, because now we have Mirio, who's this determined, bright person who had to struggle a lot with his quirk because even though it was powerful, it was so hard to control and it took a lot of time for him to like get to the point where he is now. And for Tamaki, it was like he was born gifted, but he had anxiety issues that held him back, and he had like this one good influence in his life that made him the person that he is today, which again we'll get into that. So we have like two very different people who made it to the big three. So what's the girl's story? Because she's like Mirio, she seems very upbeat and happy and just a little sassy, I feel like sometimes, and just like she's very happy-go-lucky kind of person, but I feel like she must have a story as well. That's really cool, because it would be unfair to just give the guys a really good backstory and then just not have her have a good backstory. I feel like there must be like a story there as well, because that would make it really emotional just to have the three of them come from three different places, but eventually end up at the top of the UA school, because yeah, I think that's really great. But yeah, I did really like the action scene. Like, it was really great to see Tamaki fight by himself, and even though, like, because his anxiety still shines through when you have the guy with the blonde hair and the mask with the knife inside the mask, Satsuno, what was that him that was called something like that? Again, I don't really care too much. He looks like Kenma from One Piece, from Haikyuu a little bit, but that's besides the point. But I like when he was like, he pulled out the knife and he was like kind of scared for like a second, because even though he's really determined, his anxiety still shines through, which I think is really good. I really like when you have characters who have like anxiety or depression or just like some kind of like mental weakness, or just not good at social, just not having good social skills or something like that, when they shine, like overcome their own weaknesses. I think that's really cool. So you have Tamaki by the end here being like really awesome, and just saying that don't underestimate me. But let's go to the flashback, because that's what I want to talk about. We have Tamaki being introduced as this kind of loner kid, and like he's always been really bad at making friends, or just never has made any friends. And he's all alone because he transfers to a new school, so all these people, they probably already know each other, and they form friend groups, and he's just all alone sitting by his desk. And then you have Mirio coming over to him and being like, oh, you were Amajiki, did you say something about heroes? Like, who's your favorite hero? And just reaches out to him, like, no boundaries, and that probably made him really happy, because that was like someone, again, you have this very lonely kid, and then you have someone who reaches out to them, and obviously they're gonna like look up to this person and be like, yes, this is the person who is who's good, he shines like the sun. And I think it's really good, because Mirio, again, wasn't depicted as a person who was like really perfect and good as and like good at everything. He was just really nice. It's like the complete opposite of what Deku and Kachan have going on, because Deku always looked up to Kachan because he was strong and good at everything, but he was a bit of a dick, which is why they could never really be friends. But then with Mirio and Tamaki, it's like the complete opposite. Like, Mirio isn't good at everything. He struggles a lot with his quirk, and he's like really clumsy, but he shines bright like the sun. He smiles, he's nice, and Tamaki looks up to him for that. Like, and I think that's really cute. But I cannot talk about Boku no Hero without talking about Kachan. I don't know what it is about me. But I really like the scene where they're going back from school after their like quirk apprehension test or whatever they were doing there. And you have Tamaki being like, oh, you're really cool, and I just think you're really strong. And then you have Mirio being like, yeah, but I'm able to be like this. I'm able to keep pushing, because even though you struggle with, I forgot what it was, but basically you struggle with anxiety, or he said nervousness or something, you still never give up. Like, even though there's something like your nerves hold you back, and there's something you're not really fully able to do, you don't really give up. You keep pushing until you either achieve that or you just keep pushing. So he basically tells Tamaki, like, I'm where I am because I have someone like you to look up to, and you push me to become better. Which is really great, because you have these two people pushing each other in very different ways. And then they have like the analogy about the sun, and how, oh, Tamaki, you're like greater than the sun. And Tamaki's like, no, Mirio, you're like the sun, and then hence Sun Eater. Which was like, that really did it for me, because as soon as they were talking about the sun, I was like, okay, this is where he got his name, right? This is where he got his name. So I really think it's really great, because it just shows how much Mirio has shaped Tamaki to become more confident in himself, and just also become a more independent person. Because the reason that he tells the others to like let him have these three people and just have the others run ahead is because he's kind of scared that Mirio will do something reckless. And he's looking out for him, and like in this instant he's just like setting aside his own anxiety to be able to help Mirio and be a great hero, and live up to the name that Mirio either gave him or he took because of Mirio. Like, I want to know what the origin story of that was. Like, did he sit down one day and was like, yes, I'm gonna call myself Sun Eater because Mirio keeps calling me a sun? Or was Mirio like, you should call yourself Sun Eater? I feel like Mirio was the one who would tell him that, because it's Mirio. I feel like he would do something like that, and especially considering how long they've been friends, I assume that Tamaki would not have the guts to call himself Sun Eater unless Mirio was like, you should call yourself Sun Eater. But I really, really like the origin story of Tamaki, because it's really, I just think it's really great to see a person, because you have Deku, but Deku is like very, very different. Because the thing he usually struggled with, or that he struggled with before the series, was that he didn't have a quirk, right? So he was always put down because he wanted to be a hero, but he didn't have a quirk, so what could he really do? Because in a society of literal superhuman beings, what can you actually do without a quirk? And yeah, sure, Deku is like socially awkward, he didn't know how to talk to girls and stuff like that, but he definitely doesn't suffer from like actual anxiety like Tamaki does, which is just, yeah, I think that's really great. I've talked about this in my anime reviews about Todoroki as well, how I really think that it's really nice to see whenever his social awkwardness is shown, because it makes him more human, and I think this just makes Tamaki more relatable. Because he was always kind of relatable with like emo, gloomy kind of shine he had about him, but I think this is really great because he's kind of a perfectionist as well. Like he's scared of failing. That's it. Like that's where his anxiety lies. He's scared of failing and just not living up to things. So that kind of makes him fall short because he's scared of not being perfect. But the fact that he's also kind of the stubborn person who doesn't want to lose or doesn't want to give up, I feel like, okay, I'm gonna make a weird parallel here. You've seen Yuri on Ice, right? He's a lot like Yuri, like Katsuki Yuri, in the way that he has anxiety, but he hates to lose. So he keeps going, even though he's like kind of depressed and anxious all the time. Like you see what I like characters like that. Very relatable, very nice to see people like that being represented. Just yeah, and just I really love friendships. Like if you follow my Haikyuu reviews, I had like that one review of Haikyuu where I talked for like 15 minutes about Hinata and Kageyama's friendship because it was just so beautiful in that one chapter. And this is another really great example of how friendship is like. Yes. Because having a great friendship just shapes you like a person, just always having that one person you look up to a lot be near you. It's very different from having the person you look up to be far away. It's a different kind of influence because they're right there. So yeah, I like this because I've said it before. I've said many times before. One of my favorite things about Boku no Hero Academia is Deku and Kachan's relationship. And to have another friendship that's just as amazing and on many levels just as deep as theirs, but in a completely different way being shown, I think that's amazing because yeah, relationships in this manga are just amazing. They're done so incredibly well, and the way that people influence other in different ways, I think that's shown so incredibly well in this manga. So yeah, reading it made me very emotional. And when this gets animated, I'm sure I'll cry a lot. But yeah, this was a good chapter. So yeah, I don't know what to say else. I'm out of words. Feel like I just like dumped all my emotions into this video. But yeah, I've talked for a while now, so I will stop. Can leave a like if you liked anything that I had to say. Leave in the comments below what you thought of the chapter, and you can subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time, bye!